Manchester United fans, this is exactly why football can be crazy sometimes. Against Aston Villa, people said we played brilliant football but still lost, and everyone complained because they said only the 3 points mattered. They said they don't care about the good football if we don't get the 3 points. Now, in this game, we didn't even have the most beautiful performance, we didn't dominate the game from start to finish, but we fought, we suffered, we worked, and we won, and yet some fans will still find something to complain about. People said Ruben Amorim hates young and academy players, they said he doesn't trust the academy, they said he cannot play with wingers because he doesn't have any. They said he chased every winger away, and he is too rigid, stubborn, and scared to take risks. They said he is clueless and finished. But today, that same man used young academy players, that same man showed unbelievable flexibility, that same man took massive risks against Newcastle, and that same man has just beaten a Newcastle team we had only beaten once in our last 6 meetings, a team that beat us home and away last season. And he did that with 7 important players missing to injury and AFCON. It was tough, it was ugly at times, but the players fought like warriors, and it all worked because of one man, Ruben Amorim. In this video I'm going to break down what many Manchester United fans still don't understand about this team, why we are moving in the right direction, what Amorim is building, the system he is developing, the tactical changes we saw against Newcastle, and why we seriously need to trust this process. But before we get into it, please make sure you like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any of my Manchester United breakdowns. Let's start right from the beginning, because everything makes more sense when you understand where this journey truly began. When Ruben Amorim arrived, he didn't just walk into Manchester United without a plan. He came with a very clear purpose: to introduce his 3-4-2-1 system. The same style of football that brought him so much success at Sporting. The club signed him because they wanted that exact identity, that exact bravery, replicated here at Manchester United. He came in, tried to implement it last season, but the reality was harsh. The players struggled badly to adapt, results went against us, and we ended up having one of the worst seasons in our history. Finishing 15th in the league, losing the Europa League final, it was painful, embarrassing and difficult to watch. But in the middle of that terrible season, Amorim still gave us something to hold on to. He looked at the fans and promised that better days were coming, that this journey had only just begun.
6 months ago, in my first 3 games in charge, with 2 victories and 1 draw, I said to you, the storm is coming. Today, after this disaster season, I want to tell you, the good days are coming.
Fast forward to this season. The club brought in Cunha, Bumo, Sesko and Lamans, attackers and a goalkeeper, but we didn't strengthen in midfield, we didn't sign defenders, and we didn't bring in proper wing-backs, which are absolutely crucial for the formation Amorim wants to use. The season kicked off and once again things didn't click immediately. We lost to Grimsby Town, Brentford, Arsenal and City. The pressure grew. Fans were shouting that the formation had to change, that the tactics were wrong, that the system was the problem. And then came Amorim's response.
No one's, not even the Pope. This is my job, this is my responsibility, this is my life. So I will not change that, but I will change the system. There will be an evolution, but we need to make all the good steps.
Calm, stubborn, confident. He said he would not change the formation, not even the Pope could force him to. The media continued to push, insisting the formation was destroying the team. But Amorim explained himself clearly.
Some of the criticism of you post-Grimsby has been about formations and systems, and on Wednesday you said it's not about formations and systems, that's not important. If it's not important, why are you so inflexible? And would you ever consider, if things got worse, of changing and adapting?
Guys, if I feel that it's best to change, I know I played in all my life in the 4-4-2, 4-3-3. The only system that I didn't play 1 minute, 3-4-3. So I know all the, and I just have one idea that we need to be so good in this way of playing, then we are going to adapt. It's like some coaches has a mentality that I'm going to put this system and then I'm going to change. What I'm thinking is that we have one system that is going to adapt to different systems. And then when everyone is doing this with his eyes shut, I'm going to change a lot of things.
He already had plans to use different shapes and different tactical ideas, but first the players needed to fully understand and master this one system. Only when that foundation was built could they comfortably adapt to others. After that, Manchester United began to improve massively. The players slowly started to understand the formation, the movement, and the roles inside the system. You could clearly see that they were no longer confused, they knew where to stand, when to press, and how to attack. We started winning games, and even in the games we didn't win, we refused to lose easily. Since then, we have only lost 2 matches, to Everton and Aston Villa, and in both of those games, Manchester United actually dominated for long periods. We created so many chances, we controlled the midfield, and we were always dangerous going forward. Right now, only Manchester City has scored more goals than us, and we rank first in chances created. We are creating chances for fun, our only problem has been finishing them. If we had converted just half of the big chances we missed this season, we would not be where we are now in 5th place, we would easily be sitting in 2nd, maybe even pushing for the top. But at the same time, there was still a big problem. We were conceding too many goals. Before the Newcastle match, we kept only 1 clean sheet. We conceded 4 against Bournemouth even though we also scored 4. Teams found it too easy to score against us, just like it was easy for us to score against them, they also punished us. And then things became even more difficult. We lost 3 key players to AFCON and 4 other important players to injuries. Amorim said he was prepared for AFCON, so he adjusted the system against Bournemouth, switching to a back 4 to help the players learn another formation before those players left. He wanted the squad to already be comfortable in different shapes. But after that match, he returned to a back 3 again, even without many key players. We still played well, but the same defensive problem kept showing up again and again. We conceded cheap goals and lost games we should have won. Now Amorim himself has admitted it, the time has come to change.
I think in the future we can change also like I was always talking, and you guys, especially you, about the system. We can play a different way to take more quality from these players, because I have the feeling that if we have to play a perfect 3-4-3, we need to spend a lot of money and we need time. So I'm starting to understand that that is not going to happen. So maybe I have to adapt.
In his recent interview, he explained that playing the perfect 3-4-3 would take too long and cost too much. To truly master it, we would need at least 2 new midfielders, 2 quality wingbacks, another central defender, and another attacker. Instead, he wants to adjust the system to something that brings the best out of the players we currently have. He believes that if we adapt, we can compete now, without waiting years. Maybe after 2 or 3 transfer windows, when the squad is properly rebuilt, we can return to the perfect 3-4-3. But for now, the focus is solving today's problems, getting results, staying competitive, and slowly building the future step by step. Against Newcastle, we finally saw a clear picture of exactly what Amorim was talking about. He surprised everyone with a 4-3-2-1 setup, something nobody truly expected, and it completely changed the way we played. He went with Heaven and Martinez as the 2 central defenders, Dalot and Shaw as the full-backs, Casemiro and Ugarte operating together as that double pivot, and Mount just ahead of them as the attacking midfielder. Then he pushed Cunha and Dorgu into those wide forward roles, supporting Sesko up front as the main striker. And honestly, nobody saw this coming. For weeks people have said Amorim is predictable, but in this game he became impossible for Newcastle to read. This system brought out the absolute best in Patrick Dorgu, it brought the best out of Cunha, it brought the best out of Luke Shaw, and Aiden Heaven was simply outstanding, man of the match performance. People kept saying we can't play like this because we don't have wingers, but Amorim proved everyone wrong. He trusted Dorgu and Cunha to work those wide areas, and they delivered. Dorgu even got his first United goal, the same Dorgu people wrote off and said was finished. All he needed was to be used in a role that suited him, and immediately he made an impact. This is exactly what Amorim meant when he said he wanted a system that brings the very best out of the players we already have. Now I know a lot of fans will still come out and say we didn't play well, and honestly you are right, especially in that second half, things really changed. We lost Mason to that caution injury and he had to come off at half-time, and that completely changed everything for us. That was a massive blow. The moment he left the pitch we were forced to bring in Jack Fletcher into the midfield and immediately you could feel the difference, the spark disappeared, the control disappeared, suddenly we couldn't hold the ball, we couldn't connect passes, and we started defending deep. And to be honest, I never expected a midfield of Casemiro and Ugarte to dominate a midfield with Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali, never. Even in my pre-match show I said it clearly, Newcastle were always going to dominate possession and we were going to rely on the counter-attack. And that is exactly what happened. But the truth is, in the first half, before Mount got injured, we were actually better, we had more control, we had more confidence, and that is why losing him changed everything. We really shouldn't rush to judge this new formation based only on what we saw in the second half. That would be unfair. We defended almost the entire half, we were forced to introduce several academy players, and the squad is clearly stretched. This is not the real current Manchester United team. We are missing too many important players, injuries everywhere, plus AFCON, so how can anyone expect perfection right now? Be honest, if Bruno, Mainu, De Ligt, Maguire, Mbeumo and Ahmad were available, do you truly believe we would spend the whole second half sitting deep and chasing the ball? Of course not. There is still so much hope in this team. Even without Bruno, you saw how confident we looked in the first half, how comfortable we were keeping the ball. Now imagine this new shape with Bruno fully controlling that number 10 role, Mbeumo and Cunha on the wings, Mainu and Casemiro commanding the midfield, De Ligt and Martinez solid at the back, and then strong options waiting on the bench. Newcastle wouldn't have had that kind of freedom. We would dominate more, we would control games better, and players would finally be operating in roles that truly bring out their strengths. That's why patience is needed, because once everyone is back and used to the system, we will be able to switch formations inside games and still look dangerous. During the game, Amorim made a bold and calculated decision that showed exactly why he is the coach this team needs. He removed Casemiro and brought in Euro to join the defense, shifting back into the usual 3-4-3 formation, essentially transforming the backline into a 5-man defensive unit. This was not just a tactical adjustment, it was a measured risk. The team was already defending deep, and he needed to make sure the game was seen through without exposing players to unnecessary injury. By bringing in young players like Frederick Son and Malaysia to cover for Shaw and Martinez, he ensured the team had fresh legs while also protecting the key players who are carrying the squad through this period of heavy injuries. Yes, it was a risk, taking young, less experienced players into a high-pressure situation, but the reward was enormous. Not only did it help us secure the 3 points, but it also safeguarded important legs of Martinez, Shaw, and Casemiro, all of whom are critical for the upcoming fixtures, especially with so many absentees and the AFCON period looming. What was remarkable was how the players responded. From the first whistle to the last, they fought relentlessly. This was a team that never stopped pressing, never stopped defending. Even in the absence of key players, every single member of the squad contributed to a complete team performance. Unlike other matches where lapses in concentration cost us dearly, this time we stayed alert, aggressive, and committed throughout. We finally secured our first win at Old Trafford since October, and we did it under conditions that would have tested the confidence and resolve of any squad. Some may look at the performance and criticize it as not perfect, especially considering the second-half defensive posture, but for me, the 3 points are what matters. This result proves the vision of Amorim and the potential of this squad, when we have more players fit, when everyone is in position, and when we continue building on these tactical adjustments, this Manchester United team is capable of playing with intelligence, flexibility, and dominance. The future is bright because the foundation is being laid for a team that can adapt, fight, and win no matter the obstacles. And that's it, Manchester United fans. What a display of courage, fight, and tactical intelligence from the team under Ruben Amorim. Today wasn't just about winning, it was about showing resilience, adaptability, and the growing maturity of this squad even in the face of injuries, absences, and pressure. We saw young players step up, key players being protected for the long term, and a coach who is not afraid to take risks to bring out the best in his team. So, take a moment to appreciate what's happening here. This team is evolving, the system is being perfected, and the foundation for a very strong season is being built, brick by brick. The win against Newcastle proves that Manchester United is ready to fight for every point, every ball, and every chance on the pitch, no matter who is missing. This is a team that will keep growing, and we should trust the process. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a deep dive into Manchester United's matches, tactics, and team development. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your take on the match, the formation, and what you expect from the squad moving forward. Until next time, stay passionate, stay loyal, and as always, keep the red flag flying high.